With the first season long past, this series has established itself. The 11-race-long season comes down to this. 9 drivers with 7 teams fighting for this title. Caesar, Tropical Cyclone, Yoshi Racing, Dewstorm, Hoodlum 2002, Ben Pye, Random J53, Ethan Matheson, and Orioles. Will the rookies led by Orioles take this title, or will the Season 1 mainstays led by Season 1 title contender Ethan Matheson use their experience to muscle away from the young guns? Without further ado, here is the Season 2 finale, the Cracker Barrel 75. Welcome everyone to the Cracker Barrel 75 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the finale of the Featherlite Sportsman Series' second season. On the pole for this race is J-Rat in his final career start. Second is Jay Felber. Third, Hoodlum 2002, a championship contender. Fourth, Orioles, another championship contender. Fifth, Tropical Cyclone, yet another championship contender. Virtually the entire top 10, half of them are championship contenders. What do you expect from this race, fellow commentators Dog and DJF?
Well, folks, it's the finale of the season, and all I can say is it's going to be a hard-fought race for this title. Remember, in last season's race, it was very much a back and forth, and now that we're at a different venue, I expect it to be much different as the pace car ducks off to the inside.
Here we see pace cars off on the pit road, field in the hands of J-Rack. Let's get that cloth waving and racing in Atlanta.
And we're racing in the finale of the Featherlite Sportsman Series, Season 2.
Look at Hoodlum already taking it 3 wide to the inside. He wants to get going, of course. He's got to fight for that championship and has already taken the lead as he goes down the back straightaway for the first time.
He's going to move up high. The field's already 3 wide as they go down to the backstretch. Tropical Cyclone, who had a very inauspicious start, is going to go to the lead.
The fight for the lead here is very important to these championship contenders because that's a valuable bonus point for leading a lap.
And Tropical is going to get it as he crosses the line. He is your leader.
The point situation already is a bit outlandish as a non-title contender won the pole, so denying them a vital bonus point for the pole. However, they still can lead a lap and lead the most laps for bonus points of 1 and 5.
I feel like it should be mentioned that by the completion of the first lap, I think a few drivers may have already been mathematically eliminated from the title because they would have had to lead pretty much every lap and start on the pole to be eligible.
Look at Hoodlum almost get down in the grass trying to drive that car around the racetrack. Of course, one of our championship contenders needs every spot possible.
Yeah, Julio Caesar was actually less than 100 points behind. So theoretically, he still could be in this title fight, but he would need a really big miracle to because the most points you can gain or lose is 105. That left Caesar with 8 points of insurance. He could finish. He can't exactly finish last. But he was still barely in this at the completion of the first lap. As we see Adam Mitchell looking to go to the inside of Tropical.
This very much reminds us of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series from 2017, 2018, and even 2016, when Kyle Larson would usually be up front at Homestead, but never a championship contender in those final races. And similar things going on now with Adam Mitchell leading the race here in Atlanta, but being eliminated from winning the title.
Let's see the title fighters. 3 in the top 5 of them. Hoodlum being in the most advantageous position of them, I believe. Actually, yes, Hoodlum being the most higher in points than the 3 of those. Tropical leading its halfway miracle get in this fight, as Hoodlum is seeing the fruits of his labor because Orioles, the points leader, is way outside of the top 15.
Yeah, he got shuffled back off of that start, of course, qualified in 4th, but everybody started drifting to the high side, and it trapped him going backwards. I saw him and John Felber were almost in the wall on the first lap.
The same.
Just trying to.
Almost the same with Ethan Madison, the second place driver in points. Qualified pretty well, but shuffled back to almost outside the top 20.
with that outside line, of course, not being the preferred groove here at this racetrack, they just fell backwards, and now they have to make those spots up, or they're going to be out of this championship fight.
For those watching at home that are out of the loop, you can tell the driver is a points contender because their banner and rear spoiler will be red. For example, we're looking at this eight car here, with a red banner spoiler, and I think even the splitter is red.
Yeah, the splitter.
If a car meets those characteristics, they're in contention for the title.
Yeah.
Well, Adam Mitchell continues to lead down the back straightaway. He's not looked back ever since taking the lead from Tropical. And look at that. Look who's in second, guys.
Mr. Nitro. Looking for a career day today. And speaking, would you have expected that both series would have 9 drivers in each series eligible for the title? It was the same case for the Amazon Cup Series last season. 9 drivers going for the title, but in both series, that is plainly unheard of for me.
Here's Cigar going to the bottom of Trop. Trop seems to have a bit of a fading car. In fact, 13 of Cookies might be looking to make a move on him momentarily.
What I was saying before was that just shows how good this championship format is and how edgier seat it can make it. As, of course, 9 drivers in the fight for the championship, any of them can win it.
Any of them can mathematically win it. However, to be realistic with how good these drivers run, I would put the cutoff at the top 5 or 6 being legitimately on race pace able to win, because being this high in points, you just don't DNF. It's pretty much that simple, actually.
Someone we haven't mentioned today is Orioles. He's had a fairly amazing season. Came in with a sitting atop the point standing somewhere in the top 4. He's currently running in 30th. That's pretty much unheard of for him this season.
Man, really.
Yeah, it wasn't even a qualifying effort that set him back either. What set him back was getting trapped behind John Felber on the outside, and unfortunately that's just drop-kicked him to the rear of the field, as we see Chiro making a move inside.
Speaking of Chiro, his teammate, Random J at the Eclipse Motorsports team, was also one of the early favorites to win the title, but his title bid has seemed to have dropped off a little bit. He's the only driver to ever win consecutive races in an NSOCO league, but he doesn't look like he's got what it takes to win the title today. He's mired way back in the pack, and it would take pretty much a big one to get him up at the front.
I mentioned, these guys don't DNF. You look at the points, which we saw at the beginning of the broadcast in the intro. The most DNFs that someone in the title fight had is 3, and it was Tropical way back in 8th. That shows how important consistency is. DNFs will hurt you, no matter how good you are in the races you don't DNF in. DNFs do hurt.
Not to mention, those 3 DNFs were all consecutive in the first 3 races of the season. If I'm not mistaken. And he has had an absolutely massive comeback. He used to be considered one of the worst drivers, and now he's up here battling for the title.
Well, these top 3 have kind of pulled away from the rest of this group as Adam Mitchell continues to lead as they work down the back straightaway. Nitro in second, Hoodlum in third. Hoodlum in a good position to maybe take this championship when it's all said and done.
And the current points position right now would place him pretty well, actually, in position for this title. If he can maintain and his title rivals, Random J, Ben Pye, Orioles, and Ethan don't come back up to within the top 10. I mean, Hoodlum is sort of a long shot for this title, but very much so it's possible.
Now we're looking here in this frame, we have 2 of the best drivers of the whole season, Orioles and Random. They've been very consistent in doing well, but they don't seem to have what they need today.
We see VGO3 racing his teammate Nexus Combat. as far as I know, Nexus is not going to be returning to All In Motorsports next season. He's going to be going to Eclipse Motorsports, from what I've been hearing. BJF, you're an insider with Eclipse, is that correct?
So, I'm doing a race. I'm sorry, I had to drop there. Nothing is confirmed as of yet.
Okay.
With the team, there's an announcement that will be coming out at the conclusion of the ACS race.
Alrighty. Well, we saw, VG will be returning next season, and he will be getting a brand new Amazon scheme. Insiders of the league have already seen the scheme, voiced their appreciation, some small critiques, but if he's looking to get a fresh new start next season after garnering his first career Featherlite Sportsman Series win. Speaking of first wins, the top two currently are in position where if they win, that would be their first career wins, obviously.
Another notable thing to mention about this season, if this season goes as we would expect it, the driver who wins the title may not end up winning the race. We've not had a repeat winner this season.
I mean, of the drivers that are eligible for the title, Orioles has won a race, Ethan has won a race, Random has won a race, Ben Pye has not. Of the title fighters, 4 of the 9 have not won.
And now we're witnessing a move. Hoodlum 2002 is going to the bottom of Nitro. Nitro, of course, couldn't be in the booth with us. He's occupied with finishing off his season, but he's just been passed for third by Hoodlum.
Skittle.
Well, we're going to see a pass for third here as Nitro may be losing another spot here, guys.
Deshaun Sealis, another season 1 driver. Very, very, very underwhelming season 1. Looking for as far as I know, actually a career day to end this season at.
Now, Irishman, I've been meaning to mention this. I don't think the E in Seals is pronounced. I think it's a silent letter.
I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating that, please? You weren't exactly loud enough for me.
Oh, sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this has been on my back for a while. Isn't the E in the second E in Seals actually silent, or is it emphasized?
I actually would never ask that myself. I just say Seals because Sealess sounds a bit weird.
Well, you just said Sealess.
We got 3 wide, guys. Let's talk about the 3 wide battle on the racetrack.
Semantics can wait for a while. That's been in the back of my mind for a while with every race that I've watched this season, which has been all of them.
Look how far back Tropical's dropped after losing the lead. Just been on the outside line, has not been able to get back down. As you see, that is Jackman in the 12 to the inside, and some other guys looking for a position as well.
It seems almost as if he's been driving through a tropical cyclone.
Yeah. 20 of Kyle Wolford, there have been rumblings this season of actually him retiring to focus his energy on another league. However, talks of his retirement have since quieted down. I'm not really sure if he's actually really planning on retiring.
That's something to find out in silly season.
Yes, silly season.
This season is definitely going to be silly.
Well, Adam Mitchell's still up front, has basically dominated this race ever since he took the lead from the number 40 of Tropical Cyclone. John Felber looking to get his way back up to the pack after dropping really hard in those first couple of laps.
Why did I just realize now that Angelina is sponsored by Napa and so is Nexus, for that matter? I only just realized that now.
Congratulations.
Anyway,
3 wide here?
3 wide, Mr. Big Nader to the bottom of J-Rack, and Julius Caesar, a title contender, falling way outside the top 15 now, I believe.
Ethan Matheson working to the inside now. He needs to gain some spots as well. He goes to the inside of Julio. That'll be a spot that he needs to gain. And now he may be on the attack against J-Rack for another position, guys.
Yeah.
And speaking of Caesar, he's actually having a move made on him by Dresser Jackhammer. That 15 State Farm Dodge.
We mentioned Adam Mitchell being in the lead, but we need to. I want y'all to take a moment to realize that who Mitchell drives for. Nick Sant Racing, a team that has been virtually, I'll just simply say, horrible in the FSS this season.
Well, that could all change here as he is in the lead. He's been dominating this entire race and could come out of here the winner when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
anyone who has followed this league for any amount of time would be remiss if they didn't acknowledge Nick Sant Racing is a fairly powerful force. They have one of the most powerful Amazon Cup Series teams, and their lead driver Nick Sant will actually be retiring after the race following this here at Atlanta.
Yeah, Nick Sant Racing technically losing two Amazon Cup Series drivers this season. Nick retiring and Rusty Fighter moving to another team, actually. Though the Rusty not staying was probably written on the wall a while ago, considering he's been having trouble making races this season.
Well, let's hope he can qualify for this last race because he's got a very special paint scheme. He asked me in particular to paint for him. Why he would ask a commentator to paint.
As you see Nitro moving to the bottom of Hoodlum, that's what Hoodlum does not want to happen.
Now, Hoodlum did get a little bit of a run at the end of the backstretch. He poked out by maybe just by the wheel well.
Like
but the high line does not work in Atlanta.
Looks like he's going to lose 2 spots because of this. Maybe even 3.
He may actually end up losing 3. He's got Chris Claridge at the inside of him.
Well, it's time to go, guys, because we are coming down to the closing stages of this race. As we get you're inside 20 laps to go, Adam Mitchell's still out front, but Nitro and the other guys behind are starting to say, it's time to go, guys.
Yeah. But DJ, if you poked on this a little bit earlier, talk about Nick Sant Racing being a powerhouse team. And you mentioned specifically the Amazon Cup Series. I know you were, mentioning and implying that in FSS, Nick Sant Racing has been virtually unknown, pretty much. They've only won one race, the very first Featherlite Sportsman Series race at Daytona, and just missed out on the title fight last season. This season, they're obviously missing out on the title fight again, but do you think this would be the start of Nick Sant Racing, as we have 3 wide here, to see how it's going to work out? But
yeah, very aggressive move there by Cookies.
Yeah. But would this be the start of something very big for Nick Sant Racing in FSS?
Yeah, I think so. If Adam Mitchell can pull it off, I think they'll be able to ride that wave of momentum into next season.
I actually beg to differ.
Not quite yet, though.
Now, there are changes in this. We've only ever seen one off season in this league. And coincidentally, and contradicting what I'm about to say, the same driver who won the finale of Season 1 won the first race of Season 2. But I really don't think that Nick Sant Racing, with the amount of stress they put on their Cup Series team, will have the momentum carrying through if Adam Mitchell wins to propel themselves forward into Season 3.
That's a fair comparison.
Yeah, momentum really seems to die once you get to an off season, unless you're a big time team, like we've seen NSR in the Cup Series. But when you're not doing so hot in the lower leagues, you may get a win, and that's all well good. But once you go back home for the off season to spend some time with your family while the painters get working, and we sort out all the changes, it seems to go away.
Yeah, Tropical pushing the 22 up through the field. They're taking some spots away as Jack Manning starts to fall back.
13 and 14. Tropical out of this title fight, if it finishes the way it is we're in the final quarter of the race. This race has gone by fast, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's almost like 5 minutes ago this thing started. But how about Chiro having a decent run to end the season here?
Yeah, he's He's actually been the worst performing Eclipse Motorsports driver in this league. But he seems to be having a good day. He's so far outperforming his teammate Random, who doesn't seem like he has a chance to win a title anymore, and his other teammate Jay, who's currently running if I'm not mistaken, almost dead last.
Yeah, we haven't really caught it on our shot, but take a look at where Hoodlum is now. He's back to 5th as the 42 and some other guys have passed him up.
And we see here Yoshi and Hoodlum are the only title fighters in the top 10. However, Yoshi is virtually completely out of it.
Speaking of Yoshi, Yoshi actually celebrated his birthday yesterday.
Happy late birthday, Mr. Yoshi.
Unfortunately, I don't think a championship is going to be a birthday present for him this year.
Yeah, unfortunately. However, a top 5 points position probably would be a bit of a consultation.
Consolation.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Consultations and you go to the doctor.
Consolation, then. Whatever. As there are less than 10 laps to go in this race, it's gone by so fast. I guess it's probably because Adam is driving everyone to go faster. He's pulling him along at blistering speed.
Yeah, he's just absolutely been the dominant car all day. Look at the average speed around the racetrack, where you see on the ticker right there, almost 193 miles an hour. It's been very fast-paced race with no cautions. So we're glad to see these things go caution-free. Hopefully it does go caution-free.
Atlanta's got a very abrasive surface that hasn't been repaved since 1997 when it was reconfigured to how we see it today. They moved the front stretch to the back stretch, added the dog leg, and haven't repaved it since. So it's a very abrasive track, but it makes for amazing racing.
Yeah. Top 3 are Toyotas. However, I don't think they'll be able to mount a challenge to. They actually won't be able to mount a challenge to Dodge in the Manufacturers Championship. In the Featherlite Sportsman Series, looks like Dodge will be the reigning and the current Manufacturers Championship in the Featherlite Sportsman Series. Same can't be said for Dodge. The same can't be said for Dodge in the Amazon Cup Series, as Toyota clinched it at Watkins Glen, the Manufacturers Championship.
Yep, highest running Dodge right now is Chris in 4th, so he's going to end his season off pretty well, I would say.
Speaking of Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but Chris is currently the highest running championship driver.
No, Crispy is not in contention for the championship. That would be.
Oh, he isn't. I thought I saw a red banner on this, or not a red banner, a red.
Oh, red spoiler.
A very bright red spoiler.
Yeah, in that case,
it's
Hoodlum is currently your highest running championship contender as far as the race goes. In terms of the championship, I don't have.
Looking through the field, look at it. Oh man, Random is in 35th place. That is, oh man. Ben Pye is also in the late 20s, so this title, I believe, is firmly in the hands of Hoodlum.
Yeah, Orioles is only 29th as well, so these guys picked a bad race to have a bad race because it's the last race of the season. You have to end it off well, and unfortunately for these guys, it's not going to happen for them, I don't think, but for Adam Mitchell right now, he's going to be coming to what looks to be
3 to go.
3 to go this time.
But
yes, it is. And as we cross the line, 3 laps to go this time. Adam Mitchell is still holding ground up at the front.
Ethan Matheson and Orioles, they're Pox Kozart's biggest cheerleaders right now. As Pox is trying to get by Hoodlum. Another place, another point for Dodge in the Manufacturers Championship. Hoodlum has lost a spot and thus some pretty valuable points. However, I do not believe that will be very much enough to sway the title fight to Orioles or Ethan.
Yeah, these guys, if they have any last challenge to mount, they have to step on it right now. As we come to 2 laps to go, Adam Mitchell's still out front, and he's not looking back. He's maintaining that gap to about 0.4 of a second, and I don't think it's going to be shrinking.
Unless something major happens. Yeah, this race is firmly in the hands of Adam, as the entire top 10 have pretty much broken away by a good Lord, 2 to 3 seconds from the rest of the field. White flag waves. 1 more lap to go in the second season of the Featherlite Sportsman Series. Adam leads Nitro by 3 lengths.
Yeah, for some of these guys, it's just going to be a good way to end off the season. Of course, Nitro is probably going to get second here tonight. Sean Seals is about to get third, but as it goes down in turn number 3, Adam Mitchell in the Snapple car for Nick Sant Racing will come off of turn number 4 to his first win in the NSOCO. Adam Mitchell wins at Atlanta.
And yes, official confirmation. Hoodlum 2002 is your Season 2 Featherlite Sportsman Series champion.
Congrats to Hoodlum and his entire Dark Horse Motorsports team. That has to be a good feeling for them.
Alrighty. This has been Green Flag Studios, Dog, aka Side Jackson Productions, and DJF. Signing off. Have a good one.